Good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk about soulmates and the concept of finding someone who, we are meant to kind of live our lives together and grow together, that kind of thing. Um, and I'm going to kind of give you a spoiler alert here. Uh, there's When we come into this existence from the expanded part of who we really are as energy of the universe, as creators, and we come into a physical existence, we're here for the purpose of growing and expanding, of learning and becoming more. And I fully believe in the concept that we have experienced multiple physical existences. Through the years, we've lived in the past and we will live more in the future, or we will come back and experience this physical reality again and again and again so that we can learn and so that we can expand. This is what it's all about. It's all about our growth and the growth of the universe, because as energetic contributors, we are we are observing things that we dislike and therefore creating things that we want, which expands and makes the universe a better place. Okay, so the concept of finding someone who we have been in past experiences with, and they understand who we are and the path we're on, and supporting us in our growth and moving forward. Yes, I fully believe that that is part of our experiences. Now, the problem with the concept of a soulmate is we believe this person is completely on our wavelength, and they agree with everything that we believe, and together we kind of skip down the lane hand in hand, going our merry way and supporting each other in our growth. And while that is a part of what soulmates are all about, and their contribution to us is obviously growth, here's the thing: we're here to experience contrast. And so, contrast means seeing the things that we don't particularly like. And a soulmate is a person who is going to bring out the things in us that need to be worked on and that we need to grow in or expand or become better at. So often, our soulmates are the person who sometimes brings out the worst in us. It's like they see things in us that we need help with. and and a lot of times that's going to irritate us. That's going to rub us the wrong. What do you mean I'm this kind of a person? What do you mean I'm a dickhead? Or what do you mean I do things that are not seemingly nice or good or whatever? You're supposed to agree with everything. No, your soulmate is there to help you improve. And you cannot improve if you don't see the things that need improvement. And is the soulmate, is the soulmate someone who you're going to be around for the rest of your life? Well, not necessarily. I believe that we have many soulmates, or many energetic souls that are interested in contributing to our growth, And there are various facets of what need to be adjusted for our growth. And so there are probably various quote unquote soul mates that we're going to experience, or we're going to have some interaction with. And it's not always going to look beautiful. A lot of times, I experienced this just over a year ago with a person that I met when I went to training with Mary Morrissey um, for the Dream Builder program. I recognized this person as soon as I saw her. Um, there was an instant connection, and I have come to understand that those connections are really all about a soulmate that we recognize on that level. Okay, because it wasn't I had seen her before or anything like that, but I saw the spirit in her that connected with the spirit in me, and I felt it in my heart. Okay. And instantly I could see that she had that same connection with me, and she immediately came over and talked to me. Now, in the subsequent days that we were together, we had many clashes. There were lots of interactions where we were completely together and bonding and having a wonderful experience, and it was enlightening and invigorating, and I'm getting I'm getting kind of choked up thinking about it. And there were times when she pointed out the things in me that needed to be adjusted, and I didn't like that because I'm that kind of a person. I have a hard time when people point out what I'm doing wrong. What? How? I, I couldn't possibly be doing it. What, me? I'm perfect. What do you mean doing something wrong? You know, have a misguided interpretation of like, oh. And so I will I will experience interaction with that person, I believe, for many, many years to come, whether it continues to the end of this physical existence for me or not is another thing. But during any interaction that we have together, it's a complete learning experience, at least for me. Uh, Whether it is for her or not is I can only assume that it is. I hope that it is, but she points out things in me all the time that I need areas that I need growth. Um, and perhaps at that particular time, it's like, oh, I don't want to see this. I don't want to look at this. But later on, I think that's exactly what I needed. I needed to look at that. I needed to work on that. I needed to figure out how to make an adjustment so that I become a better person. And she is the one who's leading me down that path. Okay. So, yes, there are soulmates. Yes, there are people who help us. And those relationships have two sides. They have the side that is glorious and wonderful and energizing, and pick us up and carry us forward and move us on. And there's the side that points out the things that we don't like about ourselves, that we've been ignoring. And I believe that we all have a at least a subconscious acknowledgement of things that we need to change and grow, but left to our own devices, we're going to ignore that. We're going to leave it alone because, hey, I'm doing fine. I'm okay, right? Just the way I am. Why would I want the pain of growth? Why would I want to learn how to become a better person? Because that hurts sometimes, you know? If you want to become um, thinner, if you want to become stronger, if you want to become more intelligent, it takes work. And sometimes that work is not pleasant. But that's what it's all about for us. We're here to see the contrast and from seeing the things that we don't want, create the things that we do want. And that kind of leads me to a point where we have to accept the unwanted. We have to acknowledge that there are unwanted things. We can't ignore them because we're here to see them so that we can once we see what we don't want, then we can create what we do want. But until we acknowledge what we don't want, it's going to stay there. And the harder we push against what we don't want, the more of what we don't want is going to come to us. And so I mean, it's all about fixing that so it doesn't come back. It's all about dreaming about what's possible and then making that possibility a reality. Okay? So look around you. You probably are in connection with soulmates right at this point in time. And some of them might be irritating to you because they're pointing out the things that you don't want to see. It's we have a difficulty acknowledging or recognizing a soulmate until we are vibrationally ready to receive what they have to offer. And so it's always about us increasing our vibrations and smoothing things out so that we can connect with the next step, so that we can get on that next level, so that we can invite the teacher into our life. When the student is ready, the teacher will come. Well, the teacher may already be there and you just don't recognize them. And so you might look at, okay, so this person that irritates me a lot, maybe I need to give up my desire to be right and acknowledge that maybe there's something that they have to offer and something that I need to learn and start listening to them a little bit more and start interacting with them a little bit more, but with an open heart. And maybe you just have to do the kind of, you come in, you meet with them, you and you leave, and you think about what they offered, and then you come in and you think about, you get that, I didn't want to know that, and then you go away and you think about it and you grow a little bit more and you come back, no, I didn't want to know that either, because they'll always have something to offer you, right? And understand that there's not just one soul mate. In other words, whether you believe it or not, we come from an existence where we are pure energy and where we are connected with other energetic souls, and each of them is on their own path, and each of them is on their own level of experience and education and growth, and each of them has something to offer us, and we in turn have something to offer them. So we can have multiple soul mates, and and depending on what our level of growth is, we'll recognize different ones along our path. Will we continue with that soulmate once we've grown out of, okay, once you've learned that lesson, do you need that soulmate anymore? Not necessarily, unless they have something else to offer. And so they may come into your life for a brief time and leave, or they may come into your life for an extended period of time and leave, or they may be around forever. It could possibly be that your parents, one of your parents or both of your parents are soulmates of yours, and you will always continue to learn from them. It's not entirely necessary, but I believe that's often an experience that we have. We choose to get connected with, right from birth, a soul, an energetic being that we have had past experiences with and that have been teachers of ours, and we learn from them again. You may connect with someone, as you're growing up, in your childhood experiences, that you'll remain friends with forever, and there's always little things that you're growing together with. There may be someone that you meet, and you have that connection, um, and you know that there is a journey that you're going to, be on together. So you get married, or you decide to live together, or whatever, experience you have, and you continue on for a number of years until you grow into different separate paths. And because of the divergence, it's no longer comfortable to live together, and you're creating more anxiety and more distress by being together. And so you need to move apart. And the universe will open up paths for both of you to move in separate directions. And then that allows your next teacher to come into your life, your next soulmate, as it were. So I hope it didn't. I know I probably burst some bubbles, but just think about the whole concept of a soulmate, and what they're there for, and the idea that we are growing, and as we grow, our personalities change, our desires change, our interests change, our beliefs change. I'm not the same person I was when I was, first married at 19 years old. I'm a completely different person. I had completely different desires and objectives. And so the person that I married at that time, we now are on separate paths. There was no necessity for us to stay together, and staying together would not have helped us to grow. And so the universe allowed paths for us to move in our separate directions, and now we're, both growing in a different way. It's we see separation of relationships as something that is undesirable, and we kind of relate that to maybe a death of some sort, but it's not really. It's just the next step. It's just a new path. Think I'm a, kind of a geek, and so you think about the evolution of computer programs. Uh, when you think of Microsoft, when it first came out, was terrible. It crashed all the time. It was a disaster. And it evolved and it changed, and it's a completely different program than it was when it first evolved. It grew, and it's never going to want to go back to what it was. And it's never going to want to, you know, have the same experiences. And so that's what our life is like. It's change, it's growth, it's improvement, it's never ending expansion. So, gonna let you go with that, and thank you so much for watching. I really hope it helped. Um, Please comment on your thoughts. Give me your ideas about how what you believe, and if you want any more conversation around this, let me know. That's what I'd love to help you guys. I'd love to interact with you in a way that helps us both grow and helps us both learn. Okay. So have a wonderful week. I will see you next Monday, 6:45.